All right, y'all, what is up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to change a tire. We did get a self-sealing tube, but turns out it was a 1 3/8 and not a 2.1. So we had to get that returned. We got the 26 175 to 225. This should work. It is a Schrader valve, 35 millimeter. And getting into it, first things first, you want to take your back tire off. As you guys can see, that tire is no longer attached to my rim. So that's great. All right, y'all, so first things first, you want to get your bike upside down. Make sure that you get access to the tire. And you want to get yourself a socket or a wrench in my case. And you're going to go on the side and you're going to see two bolts, one on this side and one attached to the gear rack. And you're just going to loosen those up, get the bolts off, and then you should have access to this tire. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, y'all, after you get the bolts off the bike, you're going to come over here to the gear and chain. You're going to push this in and it should have flexibility. With that flexibility, you want to take this chain off, and that's going to allow you to have access to the tire, allowing you to take it off and go from there. All right, y'all, so when the chain is off of the gears, you're going to come up and just lift it up. And as you can see, all I have to do is get that chain off the gear rack and it should come off. So we'll set that over here. Again, that's the bike without the tire. You're gonna come over, grab your tube, after you have your tire off, you're gonna come over, and this is the Ozark Trail bike repair kit, and it comes with a tire remover tube replacement device. So we're gonna grab that, grab our tube, make our way over to the tire. So after you get your device, you want to stick this in the tire, move it across the line, and that's going to allow the tire to come off the bead and allow access to the tube. Another quick reminder, if you guys are using a Presto like so, which didn't end up working so well for me, you want to make sure that you unscrew this. That just allows you to get access to that tube and not be held back by the air pressure extension. And yeah, so once we get that off, we should be able to come in the tire, push this Presto in, and take the thing apart. All right, y'all, so once we have this opening, we should be able to just pull the rim right out. That's gonna leave our tire on the side with the tube intact. So you just wanna take that out. And with this just being a puncture wound, I'm probably just gonna take it to a bike shop, have them find where the air is leaking from, and patch it up with the patch kit that came in my Ozark Trail bag, which I will leave in the description below. Yeah, so now it gets into the fun part, putting the new tube onto the new tire. All right, y'all, so once we get our tube out, we're just gonna take this rubber band off, and I personally like to keep these just when you're on trail. You never know, maybe it'd be a bag of food or something that you need wrapped up, but it just gives you that extra accessory that may help you on your journey. And yeah, so we're just gonna undo this like so. It's kind of satisfying. Find the nozzle, and then we're going to go through this room, and as you guys can see, there's an opening here, so we're just going to put that nozzle through there and go from there. All right, y'all, so after the nozzle is pushed through, we're just going to grab this tube, wrap it around the rim, and leave it as evenly separated as we can. I know it's a little difficult with one end, but we should be fine. Just get that through. And one tip of advice that I've learned through my journey so far is you want to blow this tube up just a little bit to hold its shape, and then we'll go into applying the tire. All right, y'all, so once the rim is applied with the tire and the tube, we're gonna come in here and make sure that this beaded lining is put inside of the rim, making sure that the tube is not being caught onto the tire. And like I said before, this just ensures that the tire does not, or the tube does not pop as you're using it. So yeah, we're gonna do that, blow the nozzle up a little bit just to get more of that firm shape, and then we'll go from there. All right, y'all, so tip of advice, after you get the one side on, the back side does tend to be a little bit more difficult. So that is where this tool is gonna come into play. So as you guys can see, using this tool definitely makes it easier, ensuring that the tire is getting locked into place. Goes by pretty easily. It's a little difficult around the knob, but that will be an easy fix. We're just gonna come in on this other side. And it definitely is easier with two hands, but the fact that I can do this with one hand just goes to show you guys that anybody can do this. The process is genuinely simple, and with the right tools, you can do anything. And yeah, so after we get it pumped up, the way I like to check is just squeeze it a little bit, and I honestly just guesstimate how much PSI is in there, which this looks pretty good. So we're just gonna leave it like that. And yeah, that whole process takes less than 5 minutes. Super easy to do. And it, of course, with practice comes perfection. All right, y'all, so with this gear getting set back onto the spokes, you wanna make sure that you start on the left side of this gear post. And that's just gonna ensure that it gets nice and set back into place, and then you pretty much just line it up with these slots on the side. Maybe. And yeah, slide them in. It's all good. That didn't really work, but you guys get the gist of it. All right, y'all, so we got the bike flipped over. As you guys can see, the tire is working perfectly fine. We're just gonna come in here, tighten these bolts up until we get a little bit of tension like that. Yeah, you don't want to get them too tight to ensure that the bolts do not get stripped. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. Come on the other side, tighten it up, and then get all this stuff packed into the bag again. All right, y'all, so we got the tire back on. Another tip of advice is to keep your tire tubes. This just allows you to have almost like a homemade DIY paracord, so you can strap some of your gear in. B, you never know when this material is going to come in handy, and if it isn't completely destroyed like my first one, you will be able to patch it up and potentially use it again. So yeah, we're going to deflate this all the way. We're going to store it, keep it, and potentially use it in future videos. So yeah, that's how you change your tire. Thanks for watching, and if you guys like these videos, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go on the next adventure.